Pneumograph, an essential component of the modern day polygraph systems, better known as lie detectors.
See the rubber below? See the rubber below?
But we are a bit worried about the slightly outdated style of carrying out this rather important experiment. The classical style of using kymograph, Mary's tambour and paper coated with lampblack. No doubt, the Rex. But of yesterday. So, we bring to you PneumoTracker, the avatar of tomorrow. Now, let us straightaway dive into the core of the matter, and I shall introduce you to the teacher of applied psychology.
Hello everyone.
And here comes the student of applied psychology, brimming with confidence and ready to face a practical examination. Until the student is assigned to perform the experiment using the pneumograph.
I am a practicing professional for a number of years now, but I can still recall the nightmare called the pneumograph experiment which I had to perform when I had been a student. Feel sorry for this girl.
Years passed, and then our team at Messrs. Computer Services Kolkata got in a huddle to solve the issue. Right then, Dr. Mitra Bhattacharya decided to join the think tank with a knowledge, experience, and ideas.
In the classical experiment involving pneumograph, a subject's respiratory process is recorded using a kymograph. A rubber bellow, which is a part of the pneumograph, is placed across the chest of the subject and secured using a chain and a hook. This rubber bellow is attached by a flexible tube to a Mary's tambour, which has a stylus resting on it to record the subject's respiratory process in the kymograph. A sheet of paper with its outer surface coated in lamp black is wrapped in position on the rotating drum of the kymograph for the stylus to etch lines on the paper representing the respiration of the subject.
Rubber bellow and flexible tube connected to Mary's tambour and a stylus. Close-up of a Mary's tambour and a stylus. Kymograph. Sample paper.
Once the experiment is over, a time marker needs to be attached to the kymograph to etch additional time marks on the paper to facilitate time measurements later on. The paper is then removed, some additional information is added by hand, dipped in liquid varnish and dried to fix the information. Now the student uses this paper to measure various parameters using a scale, calculates several ratios, etc., and prepares the report to complete experiment.
We researched the reasons behind the fear amongst the students to perform the pneumograph experiment.
It is an incredibly difficult and time consuming affair to set up and perform the experiment, especially within the time allowed in an examination.
The chymograph has to be in good operating condition.
The rubber bellow fitted to the Maris tumbler has to be airtight with zero leakage.
The paper has to be uniformly coated in lamp black before the experiment and dipped in liquid varnish, and dried to fix it after the experiment, and only then the student can start to make the measurements.
With Dr. Mitra Bhattacharya lighting the way and the team at Messrs Computer Services paving the path with their electronic expertise, the solution simply had to come. PneumoTracker, the avatar of tomorrow. Hi, I am the experimenter and here is my subject. Start breathing. Now I am going to run an experiment. This is the PneumoTracker and that is the rubber bellow. Inside there is a roll of special paper for printing. Well, everything looks fine and there comes the printed paper. Now I am going to stop the experiment. Here is the result that I can now use for my measurements. Now, what can be easier than that? However, let us delve into some of the operational details. For example, how to unload and load the paper roll. This is a paper printed in our PneumoTracker. This is printed from a roll of paper, just like this one, which is already loaded inside the instrument. Now, I will demonstrate how to load and unload this roll of paper. Please note that the flat plastic lever on top needs to be pulled gently. Here goes. See, the top is now free. I shall turn it upside down and the roll will simply fall in my hand. Now, I shall show how to load a fresh roll. This is a new roll. This is how you insert it. Not this way. I shall repeat this. Let me just mention that this roll comes in two different styles. One with the printing surface on the outside and the other on the inside of the roll. The shop selling it will know. I recommend the roll with outside printing surface. Now that we have loaded the paper roll inside the instrument, let us make the electrical connections and power it on. The PneumoTracker comes in two parts, the actual instrument and the rubber bellow. The rubber bellow has a cable with a 5-pin connector. The instrument has the matching connector at its rear end. Let me connect them. Now, the connection has to be secure by turning this outer ring. This is the 3-pin AC power plug. Let me connect this to a suitable 3-pin power socket, providing 240 volts AC at 50 Hz. To turn the instrument on, I shall now flip this power switch to the end marked with a 0. This LED will show that the instrument is indeed on. And that's it. I am ready to proceed with my experiment.
Of course he is ready to proceed. But first, he has to get hold of a subject willing to subject himself to his experiment.
This is my subject needed for my experiment. For that, first I need the rubber bellow and fix it.
Hey, slow down a bit, my friend.
This is the rubber bellow. It has a vent, a hole at this position. This vent can be blocked by a piece of adhesive tape. Normally, this vent should be kept open at all times, except during the actual experiment. There is a buckle here. This is used to fix the rubber bellow on the subject. Okay, let's do it. Please hold it there. See how I fix this buckle. I am checking if it is loose. If loose, you can tighten it by pulling this. Only now you should block the vent with the adhesive tape. That's it. Experiment setup is now ready. I shall start off. And here it goes.
That was fast. That was fast. That was fast.
The stage is now set for a slightly detailed discussion on the various keys used to control the instrument.
Let us now explain in detail the various functions and operations of the instrument.
Before starting, the experimenter needs to check that this LED is glowing green. Now we shall show the function of the feed key once and twice. This key just feeds the paper by a certain amount every time it is pressed. Next, let us embark on our first experiment by pressing the run stop key once. The green LED has started blinking, which shows that the experiment is now on. After the name of the system, the instrument prints the scale 1:1, the speed 1.0 mm per second, and the timer, which is now on at 1 tick per second. This is followed by an experiment number, which is serially issued by the instrument after powering on. As you can see, there are two lines, one representing the respiration of the subject and the other a timer, which is now set at 1 tick per second. Let us now stop the experiment by pressing the run stop key again. And here we are with our first results in hand. Ah, that's better. In experiment number 1, the scale had been 1:1. Let us change it to 2:1 using the scale key and run the experiment number 2. That's just a fast forward trick. Well, that completes experiment number 2. And as you can see, the line representing the respiration is definitely wider. So here we present the results of experiment 1 at a scale of 1:1, 2 at a scale of 2:1, 3 at 3:1, 4 at 4:1 and 5 at 5:1. So far, we have done the experiments at a speed of 1.0 mm per second. This, of course, is the speed at which the paper moves. Shall we change it to 2.5 mm per second? For that, we have to use the speed key. It is that trick again. As you can see, at a speed of 2.5 mm per second, the instrument has automatically selected 5 ticks per second. Here are the results of experiment 5 at a speed of 1.0 mm per second, 6 at 2.5 mm per second, 7 at 5.0 mm per second, 8 at 7.5 mm per second and 9 at 12.5 mm per second. For experiments number 10 and 11, we shall use a speed of 5 mm per second. The timer key is used to turn off and on the timer ticks in the printout. The timer is now off. As you can see, the instrument no longer prints the timer ticks. We have turned on the timer. Bravo! The timer ticks have come back. There is a couple of quick points, as they say on the TV, that needs to be specially mentioned. Let us now demonstrate a situation which, as an experimenter, you definitely need to avoid. Let us run experiment number 12. Everything looks normal so far, but oh dear, the LED is blinking red and the experiment has aborted. We seem to have run out of paper.
Job, Baba.
With this vent covered by an adhesive tape, this rubber bellow forms an airtight pneumatic system. If one compresses the bellow too much, the instrument will start beeping. On the other hand, if it is pulled too much, the same beeping will be there. Both these conditions need to be avoided. With the vent uncovered, the rubber bellow is open to air and there will not be any beeping. So, the vent should be kept covered only during the actual experiment. That's all I have to say on this subject. So, leaving you to carry on doing some wonderful experiments with the PneumoTracker, I take my leave. But before that, I must ask an ex-student of applied psychology, a practicing professional now, to state what I regard as the greatest compliment that we have got.
I wish I had been born a few years later. Then I could have used modern equipment like the PneumoTracker in my college lab days.
Well, there goes my alter ego. Sounds different. Aha! This is the reason. Begone you. Now I sound normal. Hello. What are these things? But why is everything so bleak? Yes, that suits me much better. Now, if you have a question regarding the operation or the technicalities of the PneumoTracker, Mr. Parthu Majumdar of Computer Services is the person to contact. Computer Services? Well, as they say, what's in a name after all? And for commercial queries, I give you Dr. Mitra Bhattacharya. Excuse me. That would be Dr. Mitra Bhattacharya of Progressive Scientific Appliances. Now, with all these details floating around, I shall bid you Namaskar. আবার দেখা হবে।